There are new concerns that Canada's housing crisis could soon get worse. According to the Canadian Mortgage and Housing Corporation, Canada needs to build, look at the number on your screen, 5.8 million homes by the year 2030 to reach housing affordability. But a looming trade war with the U.S. and homes being built in areas prone to wildfire and flooding, I mean, those factors cast further doubt over whether that goal can be reached. For more on what the housing industry may be facing, we are joined by the director of the Infrastructure Institute at the University of Toronto, Anne-Marie Mediwake. Good morning to you.
Good morning, Lindsay.
So how could the housing industry be affected by the potential tariffs?
Well, the housing industry is already struggling with rising costs, with interest rate challenges, and this is just another hurdle for them to grapple with. We think of Canada as having a lot of steel, a lot of lumber, that we can build homes, but actually, just like in the auto industry, goods go back and forth. The stuff that's in a home goes back and forth across the border multiple times. So if there's tariffs put on these goods, it's going to increase the cost. It's just increasing uncertainty, and there's a likelihood that builders will pull back as they wait to see what's going to happen next.
Yeah, exactly. And Canada's initial list of retaliatory tariffs on the U.S. affects materials used for home building. So I'm going to walk through some of those. I mean, we're talking plywood, carpets, bathtubs, sinks from the U.S. all would face a 25% counter tariff. What effect could that have on the housing market?
A huge effect. The cost of construction has skyrocketed already, and it's putting projects in jeopardy. And anything that's going to add additional costs is only going to make it worse, is only going to make it more expensive, and is only going to put projects that were already on life support financially, push them over the edge and make them so they're just not financially viable anymore, and they likely won't even start. We need 5.8 million homes just to get back to affordability, and this will just make it even harder to get those projects started, let alone get them finished and people living in them.
And let's talk about, it's not just tariffs that could disrupt home building, it's where these new houses are being built. So I want to talk about this angle, because there is this new report from the Canadian Climate Institute saying by 2030, 220,000 new homes could be built in wildfire zones, the hazard zones, I should say, with another 150,000 in areas prone to flooding. Why is this happening?
Our cities have been pushing outwards over the last decade or so, and the reason is a search for greater affordability. People are what's called driving till they qualify. They're going out further and further, especially young families looking for larger spaces. Our cities really haven't provided enough family housing in the cores and in the existing urban areas, and so people are pushing outward further and further. And this is into areas that are environmentally sensitive and where there's flooding risks or fire risks. And so these homes are really in jeopardy. They might be low cost upfront, but they have significant risks of higher costs from emergencies down the road.
So we've talked about the problems. Now let's talk solutions. How can Canada meet its housing goals in the face of all of this?
First and foremost, build in the right places. Think about building complete communities. Then we have to get the building going much faster. We need to cut red tape. We need to make it more affordable to build new homes. The industry has actually become less efficient and less productive over time. We have a skills trade deficit. We have to get people working. We have to get this industry moving a whole lot quicker. And ultimately, governments need to come back to the table with investment in affordability. There is no private market solution that will solve the deep affordability problem. We need to add market supply so that people in the middle classes can afford to live, and we need to be providing government support for affordable housing so that there's deeply affordable housing for people who are struggling in our communities.
Anne-Marie Mediwake, thanks for your time. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Lindsay. Nice being with you.
If you like that video, make sure to subscribe to the Your Morning YouTube feed, where you can find all kinds of new content posted every weekday morning.